Sarah had always been the type of person with big dreams and even bigger plans. At 28, her mind raced with possibilities every morning, starting her own design business, writing a novel about her grandmother's life, maybe even learning to speak Italian. Her notebook overflowed with detailed plans. Colourful vision boards covered her apartment walls, and her laptop bookmarks were filled with how to start a business articles. But every evening brought the same crushing realization. Despite all her grand plans, she had somehow spent hours scrolling through social media, organizing her already organized desk, and watching just one more YouTube video. She wasn't truly lazy. She cared deeply about her future. Yet whenever it came time to actually work on her dreams, she would freeze completely. "What's wrong with me?" Sarah whispered to herself one particularly frustrating evening. "Why can't I just do what I know I need to do?" The next day, feeling defeated, Sarah decided to visit her local coffee shop to work. Maybe a change of scenery would help. As she sat there, staring at her blank laptop screen, she noticed an elderly man at the next table. He was sketching in a worn notebook, completely absorbed in his work. Despite the busy cafe around him, he seemed perfectly calm and focused. After an hour of watching him work effortlessly while she accomplished nothing, Sarah's curiosity got the better of her. "Excuse me," she said softly. "I hope you don't mind me asking, but you seem so peaceful while you work. I've been sitting here for an hour trying to start my business plan, but I can't seem to focus. Do you have any advice?" The old man looked up with kind eyes and smiled. "Ah, you're an ambitious dreamer who feels stuck, aren't you?" He closed his notebook and leaned forward. "Tell me, what happens when you try to work on your business plan?" Sarah felt embarrassed but decided to be honest. "Well, I think about everything I need to do. Research the market, create a website, design a logo, write a business plan, find clients, and suddenly it feels impossible. So I end up doing nothing instead." The old man nodded knowingly. "I see. And how do you feel about being called lazy?" "Terrible," Sarah admitted. "Everyone else seems to have their life together, but I can't even start the things I care about most." The old man smiled warmly. "My dear, you're not lazy at all. You're actually quite brilliant, but you've been trying to solve the wrong problem." He picked up a sugar packet from the table. "Tell me, if I asked you to eat this entire coffee shop right now, how would you feel?" Sarah looked puzzled. "That's impossible. I couldn't do that." "Exactly. But what if I asked you to eat just this one sugar packet?" "Well, that's easy. I could do that right now." The old man's eyes twinkled. "That, my friend, is the secret you've been missing. Your brain isn't lazy. It's actually trying to protect you. When you think about your entire business plan, your brain sees a giant, overwhelming task and says, 'This is too much. Let's do something safer.' But you can outsmart this protective mechanism." He pulled out a pen and drew a small circle on a napkin. "Tomorrow, I want you to try something. Instead of working on your business plan, just spend 5 minutes writing down 3 problems you think your design skills could solve. That's it. Nothing more." Sarah looked skeptical. "But that's so small. How will that help me start a business?" "Trust me," the old man said gently. "Sometimes the smallest step forward is the most powerful thing you can do." The next morning, Sarah sat down with her coffee and remembered the old man's words. Instead of opening her overwhelming business plan document, she simply wrote, 3 problems I could solve. 1. Local restaurants need better menu designs. 2. Small businesses need affordable logos. 3. People struggle to organize their family photos. It took exactly 3 minutes, but something magical happened. For the first time in months, Sarah felt accomplished instead of defeated. The task had been so small that her brain didn't resist it. Curious about this feeling, she decided to spend just 2 more minutes researching local restaurants. Before she knew it, she was deep into research, finding contact information, and even sketching some menu ideas. An hour later, she realized she had accomplished more meaningful work than she had in the previous month. Over the following weeks, Sarah continued using this approach. Instead of building a website, she would choose one website theme. Instead of writing a novel, she would write one paragraph about grandmother's childhood. Instead of learning Italian, she would learn 5 Italian words. Each tiny task felt manageable, so her brain stopped resisting. And once she started, momentum would naturally carry her forward. Within 3 months, Sarah had launched her design business with her first client, a local restaurant whose menu she had redesigned. She had written the first chapter of her novel and could order coffee in Italian. The breakthrough came when Sarah realized something profound. She had never been lazy at all. Her ambitious nature was actually her superpower. While others accepted mediocrity, her brain demanded excellence. The problem was that her high standards made small beginnings feel pointless. But once she learned to honor her brain's need for manageable steps, those same high standards drove her to create something truly remarkable. 6 months later, Sarah bumped into the old man at the same coffee shop. He was still sketching peacefully in his notebook. "I wanted to thank you," she said, sitting down across from him. "Your advice changed everything. I'm not fighting against my brain anymore. I'm working with it." The old man smiled. "You discovered something that many people never learn. The most ambitious dreamers often struggle with taking action, not because they're lazy, but because they think so big that starting feels impossible. Once you make peace with small beginnings, your ambition becomes your greatest strength." He closed his notebook and looked at her thoughtfully. "You see, the world needs people who dream big, but also know how to start small. Those are the people who change everything. And now I want you to think about your own dreams that have been waiting for you to begin. Maybe you want to start a business, learn a skill, or create something meaningful. What if the reason you haven't started isn't because you're lazy, but because you've been trying to eat the whole coffee shop instead of just one sugar packet? Here's your challenge. Pick one dream you've been avoiding. Now make it smaller, then make it smaller again. Keep shrinking it until it feels almost ridiculously easy. Something you could do in the next 5 minutes. Then do it, right now. If this story helped you see your ambition in a new light, share it with someone who needs to hear this message. And remember, you're not lazy. You're just learning to work with the brilliant, protective mind you were given. Your dreams are still there, waiting for you. They don't need you to be perfect. They just need you to begin.